up, everybody? Sancho Zone. We are here with a little bit of a different video. Now, I'm going to be talking about the do's and the don'ts, specifically in the custom horror hobby 1/6 scale. Now, I want this to be kind of like a helpful guide, and I kind of want this to be a little bit of a blueprint for people to understand. There's been a lot of things happening behind the scenes that I find a little disrespectful. And we're just going to start with the biggest don'ts in the hobby. Okay, so if say you're a new person, you come into the hobby, everything's very exciting, you know, you see everything, you want everything. But the sad thing is, and what I'm telling you right now is, don't be a window shopper. Now, it doesn't mean you can't, you know, ask information for pieces. That's more than welcome. There are plenty of people that will help you with information on pieces. What I'm saying is, if you see somebody that's posted something for sale and the price is posted publicly, and you know you can't afford it, do not ask if it's available, then dip on the guy. Do not start that conversation. Sellers do not like that, and that goes for multiple hobbies. You know what I'm saying? It's just a overall etiquette thing. It's a respect thing. Now, of course, if a piece is listed without a price on it, and you know it's a piece that's in your price range, ask. Yes, ask. That's okay to ask. You know, just if you can't afford it, just, or you just don't want it at that time at that price, just be honest. Be like, oh man, I thought it would be a little bit of a better price, or I just can't afford it at this moment in time. Thank you for your time. Just end it. Do not haggle the seller on for weeks. Do not. We've all done it. Don't worry, I'm not an innocent guy either. We've all done it. We've all been new to the hobby. Now, another thing that kind of goes in conjunction, when you're new, take your time and find out what these pieces go in the aftermarket. Because you're going to need to know some knowledge. A, it could work in your favor, and B, just so it doesn't come off in a rude way. A, so you don't overpay for pieces, okay? Because there's people that try to rob people. But at the same time, I can't hate on people for trying to get the best price they can. These pieces are worth whatever people want to pay for them. That's the value of high-end stuff. It's art. It varies all the time. One day a piece could be $2,000. Next year it could be $4,000. The rarity, supply and demand. Now, also, you know the value of pieces, so you do not approach a guy on a piece where you don't know the price. So if you know the price, you know it's going to be an astronomical amount. You kind of don't approach him on it. You don't look like you wasted your time or you wasted his time in the end. Also, another thing, if you're a new guy, you need to build up some credit with artists and with collectors alike. Meaning, get well known before you do anything big. Buy some runs, get on some runs, pay in full. Do not be that new guy that goes on a run and then doesn't pay when the payments are due. There's a friend of mine who is organizing a run right now, and people just aren't paying. Not when he asks, people just don't pay. And it's incredibly frustrating. It slows down the runs. You guys have to understand, these are art pieces. The artists or the people that are organizing the runs put a bunch of their money out to get the materials, the screen accurate things, everything they need to organizing people to get, you know, commission the artists for this stuff, for protos and all that. It takes money, and usually they come out of pocket at first, and then, you know, you guys usually pay. Most artists, you know, they'll show a proto or they'll show a head sculpt, and then you pay half at the beginning, half at the end, or you pay it all in full, or you can do a 1 to 4 payment plan throughout the run that's being made, throughout the time that's being made. Abide by those payments. Do not screw people over. And I understand things come up sometimes, so this kind of transition to the next thing. Do not ask for your money back, as weird as it sounds. It's incredibly disrespectful in a certain way to artists and all that. And I'm sorry this sounds harsh, but the way to do it in the custom horror hobby, you sell your spot, and it's that way in other places. Try to sell your spot. If it doesn't sell, bump it a few times. You might have to take a little bit of a loss, or you can ask the artist as a last ditch effort if you're really in a pinch and have a legitimate good excuse. You know what I'm saying? Not just like, oh, I wanted this, but then I changed my mind. That's not an excuse. You made a commitment. It's kind of like you kind of buy a house, you have a mortgage, can't just kind of back out of it, kind of come through. Because, and I don't mean this in a rude way, it just marks you right off the rip as a time waster. This is going to be a very, very serious video. It's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, but it is what it is. And I've been guilty of things too. Everybody's new or whatever and whatnot. So please abide by the payment plans, respect the payments. If you're new, it would actually be really good to build up some credibility. Pay in full. Respect the artist. Also, another thing is do not complain about private matters publicly if it's with a seller or artist. But, you know, first try to reason it with them. And then say if you got screwed on money or you got screwed on a deal and you didn't get your stuff, then yes, then bring it to the public's eye or bring it up to an admin or somebody that can help with the situation or somebody that knows the artist and can maybe talk to them. Always try the latter. You know what I'm saying? Do not go to the, don't go above the chain of command, I guess you could say. Don't jump the gun because usually there's ways to work things out, you know what I'm saying? And usually this leads to the other thing. Artists, 99.99% of the time, or actually 100% of the time, will say in our specific little niche hobby, the horror hobby, they will not screw you over. The only thing that's going to be really, really annoying is wait times. Beto, Ones, Scott Peterson, Rayman, you know, they're all established artists, Yunsel, you know, Odell doing the runs. They're all established artists, organizers, and all that. None of them have screwed you over, ever. Everything's always been delivered. The wait times just suck sometimes because, you know, you gotta find materials, you gotta do this, you gotta plan. It's tough. It's tough. There's so many moving gears behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. It's ridiculous. Sometimes the run can be composed of like 6 artists and up, and to make all that align, trust me, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. Keep that in mind, guys. Also, another thing, I feel as if when you're a new guy, also if you're a newcomer, you're welcome to this hobby. We all welcome with open arms. Don't come off like you're better than everybody else. Don't come off like that guy, oh, this isn't accurate, or this isn't correct, or this thing should be done this way. Learn your steps, baby steps. Just trust me. Just learn your baby steps. I've made mistakes of making leaps and bounds and try to think I'm a hot shit when I'm not. Just learn your steps. Put in your dues. You know, I'm trying to be super humble. I've made mistakes. I know a lot of people have made mistakes, and they've turned it around. People come off as a hot shit, be like, oh, I've seen people post where they're like, oh, I could buy everybody's collection and then some, and that's why I'm cool and all that. There's been posts like that. And then the guy leaves a fucking year later or something. It's fucking ridiculous. People just let this shit get to their head. So legit, when you come in there, be humble. Remember you always should be humble and be respectful. Which leads to the other thing. This hobby is so small, do not talk shit about artists or other high-end collectors, all that. I mean, at least not to people that you don't trust. You know what I'm saying? Or unless you don't have a reason. If it's a jealousy thing, just don't. Just be respectful to one another. It's just better off. Another thing, when you're in the hobby, you guys have to understand there's wait times. This is one of the biggest things. Wait times are a big, big thing. So when you come into this hobby and you get on a run, be expected to wait a year minimum. You know, unless you're on the new runs with Paul Manzi and all that, you know, they'd be delivering stuff in 6 months. So be expected to wait a year minimum. If you're doing a commission, maybe 2 years minimum. It is what it is. There are some commissions that have been going on 5 years. Somebody advise me. Where commissions have been going on for 5 years, you know, and that is the game. If you're not patient, maybe this is not the hobby for you. But there's an alternative. Only buy second-hand market. Get pieces that are already finished, and that way you don't have to wait. You just have to wait for the seller to ship out, and then you have your piece. You know, so that's also an option. You might pay a little bit more because it's aftermarket, but that's the name of the game. Usually wait times, you pay for the wait times. Whether it's you gruelingly waiting, or you just pay for the wait times to not wait. You know, you're going to pay a seller that already has the piece that he waited the wait time, so you compensate him for the wait time and the rarity of the piece. Also, do not support recasting. I do not want to hear it where you guys try to justify recasting, or do not associate with people that associate with recasters. In my personal opinion, I wouldn't. And my experience, you will be shunned. Anybody that associates with recasters literally gets such a bad rep, even though they're probably nice guys and they just don't know it. Ask around who's a good guy, who's a recaster. Every admin in every group usually knows who is a recaster and whatnot, and it's usually pretty well known. There's been lists posted before, so just ask admins in 1/6 horror, 6 scale grails, you know, 1's customs. They can all tell you. Paul Manzi can hook it up and let you know what's up. You know, Beto can tell you. Stiff Richards, Anomaly 682. I can tell you. You know. Don't associate with recasters. I've been a victim of recasting, you know what I'm saying? So, also, do not advocate for recasting. I mean, if you do collect Redman or recasted things on the behind the scene, that's your thing. I don't care. Keep it to yourself. Don't come out here and post it publicly, because we come in with the pitchforks, man. People say, oh, these artists don't own the rights to make these pieces. Blah, yada, yada. Well, guess what, motherfucker? You don't own the rights to have the Michael Myers face tattooed on your body. You don't own the rights to, say, if you're an artist, to draw that painting and then sell it for a profit if it's of Michael Myers or a Jason, all that. Don't tattoo yourself with a Jason or a Michael Myers. That's stealing, copyright infringement. But I don't see y'all making that. I don't see y'all, the people that are painters and artists, and you guys ask for paintings or do whatever, you guys pay for that. You guys pay for that, and then you guys sell that. You know, I don't see people paying for copyright rights to have Michael Myers tattooed on them. I don't see people complaining about artists that do paintings of Michael Myers, then they sell it. I don't see that. But for some reason, because they're made into figures and there's a black market for recasted figures, they have to somehow justify and dignify what they collect. And to tell you the truth, guys, us custom artists, to people that collect recasted stuff, to us that collect some higher end stuff or that collect legit stuff, you're not even in our radar. So the fact that you bring up the conversation, try to justify it, we'll entertain you, but in the backgrounds we're laughing at you. And there's more of us than you. I told you, I'm going to be brutally honest. Also, if you have a commission and you are new to the hobby and you don't know how it is, this is a gray area, but I have to agree. Sometimes the wait times are unacceptable, and 1's Customs and Paul Manzi are changing that. Thank you, Jesus. You know, I don't see a custom piece taking more than a year or 2 years. 2 years maximum. But they're changing that, so that's good. So definitely stick with the 1's camp on that. They're doing something new here, and it's awesome. But respect the wait times, especially the people like 1's who's trying to do it faster for everybody else at a very high quality. Do not pester them every single week. They said 6 months to a little over 6 months. Respect that. Hit them up every few months. Your money's invested and it's safe. These guys haven't screwed anybody over. They've been around for 10 plus years. There's artists that legit will take your money and not do your commission or start it for 5 years on out. And there's artists that take runs for a very long time to deliver. You know, that's, I think, inexcusable. And I'm on the side of the people that wait over 2 years and all that and don't complain. Those people have a right to really complain. The people that are, you know, just pushed aside that pay good money, that I agree with the people that complain. But I don't agree with the people that complain to the artist every freaking week and want an updated every week. It just doesn't happen that way. You gotta order materials. That could take up to 2 weeks to get, to a month, depending where it's coming from. To paint, to do this, to sculpt. It takes months, okay? Don't expect a piece any sooner than 6 months. That's just factual. Unless you got some dude that only does, or has the piece already made, ready to go, or something, or is just about to finish it up. Unless we have some sort of miracle that happens in the hobby, some artists that can bang pieces out in 3 days, beautiful. I mean, it's just, I've been a little brash and a little bit frank in this video. But I have to be, because it has to be said. You know, it's to that point. So, to the people that understand, awesome. To the new guys that have been supporting me, and you guys understand, awesome. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely things that, you know, like I said, we covered things you shouldn't do, things that, and you should do. You know, you should establish a name, you shouldn't rush artists. You know, also, if you're a new guy and you say you want to trade for pieces, usually the guy that has no credibility should ship out his stuff first. And when the artist, or say the other collector that receives the item that is a credible collector, gets it and is happy, he will ship your stuff out too. That may seem unfair, but it's just, we have a lot of face to lose. You know, we have reputations. We don't want our reputations tarnished. We care about that. So there's a lot of people that, you know, you can ask for our references and all around, and they'll tell you we're legit. You know, just today I just spent $3,000 on 2 things from a different collector, and I've never dealt with him before. But I told him, if I tell him I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna buy it. I told him yesterday I'll pay you today in the morning. First thing I did, went to work, hit him up, said, "You awake?" I paid. There's your money. I bought 2 things from him. And I will be buying more things from this guy, and he trusts me now, because I show, hey, I know you never dealt with me, but let me prove to you. Bam, 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 bam. Now it's in his court, you know? So guys, definitely take this with a grain of salt, but that is what it is. I may have seemed a little kind of combative in this video, but it's just gotten to the point where certain artists don't even want to do runs. Certain collectors just are getting tired of it. And I agree with most people about the wait times, but luckily the wait time things are changing from certain artists. Certain artists are really changing and trying to do things in 6 months, so that's a beautiful thing. But I think those are the do's and don'ts, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video. And I gotta give a shout out to I Am Toys, Chris Parmanen, who kind of did this video first. He did the do's and don'ts things of, I think it was just more in general, but I just really wanted to hone deep in certain things in the custom hobby, specifically the horror side, because that's what I know. Alright guys, until next time,